Welcome to the Explainer. We talk about cholesterol in our hearts all the time, but what if its biggest secret is what it does for our brains? What if managing it is one of the best ways to fight off dementia? Well, some incredible new research says that's exactly the case, and honestly, the results are just wow. All right, let's kick things off with a number, and it's a big one, 55 million. That's how many people worldwide were living with dementia back in 2020. And this number, it's not standing still. It's expected to jump to a staggering 78 million by 2030.
So that's a huge, huge problem, right? But what if a major key to preventing this wasn't some fancy futuristic drug, but something that's already sitting in millions of our medicine cabinets? That's the wild possibility we're going to dig into.
Okay, let's start with dementia itself. Because to really get why this new study is such a game changer, you've got to understand just how big of a challenge this is for all of us, all over the world. Yeah, when you look at the projections from Alzheimer's Disease International, it's pretty sobering. And this isn't just some abstract statistic on a slide. We're talking about millions of real people, real families, and healthcare systems that are already stretched thin, and it's only going to get more intense. So, what can we even do about it? I mean, some things are out of our hands, right? We can't change our age or the genes we were born with. But the good news is, research has shown there are things we can control. You know the list: smoking, diet, how much we move our bodies, and one you've definitely heard of before, high cholesterol. And that brings us right to the cholesterol connection. For decades, cholesterol has been the heart health guy. But now, all this new research is pushing it right into the spotlight for brain health. And a brand new study just published in Alzheimer's and Dementia has really added a massive piece to this puzzle. It's basically taken this whole idea from being just a strong hunch to something that looks pretty close to a sure thing. It's giving us some really powerful evidence that our cholesterol levels have a direct, long-lasting effect on our brain. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of the study itself, because how they figured this out is it's so clever. They didn't just, watch a group of people over time. They did something way cooler. They tapped into this amazing natural experiment that's already happening inside all of us. They use this technique called Mendelian randomization. It sounds complicated, but the idea is actually genius. Think about it. When we're born, our genes are shuffled and dealt out completely at random, kind of like a deck of cards. Some people just happen to get genetic cards that give them naturally lower cholesterol their whole lives. So by studying these people, scientists can see the pure, lifelong effect of having lower cholesterol without it being mixed up with other lifestyle choices. It's like nature running the perfect clinical trial for us. And this wasn't a small study. They looked at the genes and health records of more than 1 million people. It let them see the exact outcome of this lifelong experiment and finally pin down the real effect of cholesterol on dementia risk without all that other noise getting in the way. Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting and super practical for all of us. It turns out the exact genes that give people this natural gift of lower cholesterol, they're the very same targets for our most common cholesterol-lowering drugs. You see HMGCR on that list? That's what statins go after. It's an incredible clue, right? It means these medications are basically letting us copy a natural brain-protecting superpower. So if we can copy that genetic advantage, what does that actually mean for preventing dementia? This leads to the study's most jaw-dropping finding. Let's talk about this 80% number, because this is the part that really makes you sit up and pay attention. So naturally, you have to ask, just how powerful is this protective effect? If you can lower your cholesterol, what does that actually do for your risk of getting dementia down the line? Okay, hold on to your hats for this one. The study found that a totally achievable drop in cholesterol, we're talking the kind of reduction you'd get from medication or even just solid lifestyle changes, could cut a person's lifetime risk of dementia by up to 80%. No, that's not a typo, 80%. I mean, that is a total game changer. So what's the secret sauce here? Well, it really comes down to timing. The lead author of the study makes this crystal clear. The magic comes from having lower cholesterol over a long, long time, ideally your whole life. It just goes to show you the amazing power of starting early and sticking with it. Okay, the science here is just incredible, but let's bring this all home. What does this actually mean for you and me? What are the practical things we should be taking away from all this? Well, other experts are looking at this research and they're basically saying, yes,
This is what we've been suspecting. Dr. Peter Glebus pointed out that it really strengthens that old saying, what's good for your heart is good for your brain. So managing things like cholesterol isn't just about your ticker anymore. It's about keeping your mind sharp for the long haul. But how does it actually work? Like, what's the mechanism? Dr. Yuming Ni breaks it down really well. He says the link probably isn't a straight line. Instead, think of it like plumbing. High cholesterol helps build up all this plaque in your arteries, right? Well, that narrows the pipes, which means less blood can get to your brain. And less blood flow means less oxygen, fewer nutrients. And yeah, that can cause serious problems with your memory. See, it all connects. All right, so let's boil this all down to the 3 biggest takeaways you should remember from this. First, cholesterol is officially a brain health risk factor, not just a heart thing. We have to start thinking about it that way. Second, we can actually do something about it. Lowering your cholesterol, whether through lifestyle or medication, can seriously reduce your dementia risk. And number 3, and this one is crucial, start now. The earlier you get a handle on it, the better. The protective effects build up over a lifetime. And that really leaves us with one last, pretty profound thought to chew on. With a real effective cure for dementia still feeling so far away, could something as simple as managing your cholesterol today be the most important thing you ever do for your mind tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining us on The Explainer.